After Tuma got better, he and Index went out to hang out. I don't remember the price, so a book is so expensive that Tuma regrets it. Seeing Index stare at the board, he knew she was craving ice cream. Index liked it if I didn't say it. Tuma wouldn't like it anymore and left. Index immediately held him back. She wished she had an ice cream in her mouth. Two Tuma friends suddenly appeared. They were curious about who Index was. They thought Index was a boy. Tuma hurriedly stopped them. These words drove Index crazy, so he went to find a restaurant to make amends with her. In addition, the two friends still follow to eat. Index called him to sit at the table with a girl. This girl spends too much money, so now she lacks money to buy a ticket to go home. Tuma advised her to borrow from someone else, so she kept staring at Tuma. Of course, Tuma doesn't lend. Her friends say she's so pretty, making Index jealous. A group of people came to take her away. On the way home, Index discovered an abandoned cat. No need to wait, she spoke. Tuma knew what she was going to say and immediately refused. Index scared the cat to run away. Suddenly Index noticed that someone was making a magic formation here and ran to see. Style appeared. He did not remember who he was but still tried to hide the fact that he lost his memory. Style didn't want to be close to Tuma either, but this time he had something to show Tuma. He opened a document related to a cram school in this city. There is a girl being held by them in there. This girl is very important to be noticed by criminals. They have to save this girl because only she can defeat the vampires. Tuma turned pale hearing that. Tuma doesn't have the right to refuse. If refusing, the church will send Index out immediately. The decision is in Tuma. Mr. Style left. After returning home with Index, Tuma heard a cat meow in Index's shirt. So he forced her to tell the truth. Index swore on God's faith not to lie. As soon as the cat said that, Tuma forced her to leave it, but Index refused. Seeing her sniffle made Tuma stop. He went out and saw Style taping the charm on the wall. He left the fire monster here before going to cram school to protect Index. There was nothing unusual about the cram school. Brother Style saw the same, however the building was surrounded by a barrier created by the alchemist. Style asked if Tuma knew what an alchemist was. Tuma knew simple things, but he had never heard of the ability to turn things from fantasy into reality. Style gave him a photo of the target. Tuma was surprised that this wasn't the girl he met at the restaurant. As soon as they entered, there was already a corpse. Tuma couldn't understand why people couldn't see the body. Style likens the people here to two sides of the same coin. Style and Tuma were in the back so they could see these things, and the students present were in the front. Tuna couldn't interfere in their lives. Tuma turned on his phone and tried to make a call to see if he could still get in touch. Index answered the phone. While Tuma wasn't at home, she ate all the food in his fridge. They went to the cafeteria and suddenly all the students turned to look at Tuma. They started emitting light from their foreheads, attacking them. Lightning fast, Style ran away. Tuma also ran at once. They only have a way to destroy the controller. Running down the stairs was blocked. Brother CL pushed Tuma down. In front of Tuma was a girl, her flesh starting to tear from not being able to withstand this amount of power. She fainted. Tuma helped her, but the light balls attacked him. Tuma closed his eyes, but nothing happened. The girl who borrowed the money came to help him. Style has now finished canceling the seal. The alchemist approached. He ignored Tuma because he thought he was too weak. The girl borrowed money to help the student sew up the wound. At home, Index began to feel that something was wrong. Index looked outside and found a lot of runes here. The girl Isa borrowed the money and finished her treatment. Tuma admitted that he came here to help Isa. However, she didn't want to leave. There was still something she needed to do that only alchemy could help with. Her bloodline attracts vampires. She didn't understand why, so she came to this academy city looking for an explanation. But the result was not what she expected. Isa didn't want to kill anyone anymore. She and the alchemist made a contract with each other. He needs vampire specimens to study. She goes out to find him in return. He has to promise to save people, not kill people. Tuma understood that the problem was caused by the magician. He had to stop this guy before things went too far. The alchemist approached them. Tuma punched but couldn't get close to him. He was about to kill him when Isa stopped him. The alchemist took out a needle and stabbed himself in the neck, chanting a spell to make Tuma forget all his memories. Index wandered to find this building. The waiting alchemist used magic to put her to sleep. Only after Tuma woke up in the park, Style was next to Tuma, punching him for daring to use him as a shield. They returned to the building. An array of knights stood guard. They summoned lightning to hit the house. It collapsed and then restored itself. This is the power of alchemy. They will have to confront it. The cat that Index brought back pulled her headscarf. Tuma was surprised that this is Index's scarf, she is in danger. Episode 9, Tuma and Styel ran into the building. The Styl knew all the way, so he didn't have to find the way to the alchemist's room. He was preparing to execute his final plan. Now Mr. Styel understands that he has been in hiding for 3 years, so he can't understand the outside world. Styel and Tuma ran over, and now Styel told Tuma all the truth. This guy is Index's former partner. Every year he suffered when he watched such a weak girl lose her memories. That's why he dived into research in hopes of preserving her memory. Then he learned about vampires. They have immortal life and a way to store memories that never run out. He will force them to reveal this method. But if it failed, Index would turn into a vampire. Tuma did not accept this. There was one thing Styel had to say even though the church had forbidden it. What he couldn't do, Tuma did for him, no need to erase his memories. This guy suddenly didn't believe it. Suddenly Index called out to Tuma. She was sleeping, but she was still hungry. The alchemist pressed the two of them to the floor and was about to hit when Isa stopped them. Now he doesn't need her anymore, so he kills her. Tuma hurriedly caught her, using his right arm to neutralize the magic. Only now did he believe what Styel said was true. Isa can still live. Tuma was so angry that if he kept saying what he said was true, he would smash that thought. Tuma rushed to hit this guy. Many objects attacked him, but Tuma was able to neutralize them all. He also understood a part of his ability, just touching it can neutralize it. However, if you don't touch it, you can't. He transformed into a gun with a supersonic rate of fire, shot Tuma with one shot and then turned many more guns. Styel lay still on the ground, still teasing him. His ability to create everything is not perfect. If that's the case, why didn't he create a vampire himself, but use Isa? He gets angry and kills him. Hearing these, Tuma understood the problem. The alchemist cut off his hand, but Tuma burst out laughing. Tuma kept moving forward no matter what he did. He began to panic when the magic didn't work. When I turned around, Styel had picked up Index. Obviously he just killed him. Suddenly a dragon grew out of Tuma's hand, reaching his end. Twice in 10 days, the doctor thought that Toime liked the nurse. Styel visits Tuma with fruit. When he heard Index's voice, he left. Index jumped on the bed. This time Tuma fought to protect Isa. Isa also came here. She didn't understand why Tuma would do that to someone she just met once. Tuma sneered to save someone without thinking. Index had already talked to the church, now they would have to take care of Isa as well. Episode 10. Misaka was holding a gun to aim at someone. She just pulled the trigger when a series of bullets shot straight at her. She was seriously injured, turned around and ran, and as soon as she got down the stairs, he was standing in front of her. Tuma currently still has to attend supplementary school. Tuma only had cash left. The vending machine swallowed his bill. He stood dumbfounded when Misaka chased him away. She doesn't need to use money to still get the goods from the machine, just throw a kick. Hearing about Tuma's money-swallowing machine, she decided to get it back to him. She lightly touched the transmitter and it brought out the drink. However, Tuma was too scared to run away when the machine roared. Misaka brought him drinks. She was puzzled that the current Tuma was so different. It was obvious that he was the one who defeated her, so why should he act so weak? Tuma didn't know what to do. Suddenly Misaka's sister appeared. She teases her sister, she introduces herself. If Tuma wanted to flirt with his sister, he had to go through her, and Misaka got angry, but she dodged everything. The ability to teleport surprised Tuma. Suddenly another person appeared. This is also Misaka's sister. The girl who pushed her neck left immediately. Later, Tuma brought the water back. A ball rolled towards Tuma and slightly dodged to the side. Somehow the wind blew the ball to his feet and he fell face down. Misaka's sister picked up the water and carried it back to Tuma's room to help. Arriving at the apartment building, a girl ran out to greet him. This is the younger sister of classmate Tuma, who is taking a maid course, so she is always in a state of cleaning. She left and told Tuma that if he brought a girl home, he told her to say it again. Upstairs, I saw the other two girls sitting outside the door. The cat Index brought home has fleas. Index took out a tree. As soon as it burned, all the bugs died. Misaka says she has a way to get rid of these bugs. She electrified the cat. All the fleas that were exposed to the electricity died. But with this light current, the cat is fine. As for the bugs in Tuma's room, she recommends spraying them with insecticide. Finished, Misaka ordered the drinks and left. The next day Tuma went to tutoring, sitting in class Tuma bored. On the way back, he met Misaka, talked for a while, and she suddenly tapped him on the head. Feeling more comfortable, she left immediately. Tuma turned to leave and met his sister. She is feeding the cat but it is not working, her body is emitting a small electric current all the time. It affects susceptible organisms. So Tuma had to carry it again. On the way back, he went to a bookstore to find some books on how to take care of cats. He left the cat to Misaka, she had to learn to be gentle with them. Misaka looked at the startled cat, the white-haired guy appeared. He dragged her into the alley to fight, forcing her to reveal who was the strongest person in this academy city. Episode 11. Misaka shot repeatedly at the white-haired man, but the bullets that flew near him turned in the opposite direction to her. Misaka threw the gun and ran away. Even though she knew she couldn't attack him, Misaka still tried. This guy sat down and poked her wound. All attacks in the world have rules based on flight path. And he can manipulate all these sugars, so can the blood vessels in her body. If he changes direction now she will die. At this time Tuma went to the bookstore, he didn't see her, only the cat. He was about to leave when his instincts told him something was happening in the alley. Tuma stepped inside and found Misaka lying in a pool of blood. Tuma was scared to call the police, he led them to but her body was gone. This was too absurd, Tuma ran to find it. You have seen her. Tuma breathed a sigh of relief. She corrected herself that she was dead. Only now did Tuma notice what she was carrying on her shoulder. He asked, but needed her confirmation code to answer. Suddenly there were so many Misakas that Tuma paled. His corpse just now had the code 03. Misaka said, they are military weapons that are out for experiments. The incident that Tuma saw just now wasn't a murder, just an experiment. The girls bowed their heads in apology to Tuma and left. At the teacher's house, she treated Isa with a hot pot meal. There was a doorbell ringing. Isa looked out. Index was hungry and came here to beg for food. Isa closed the door but she still begged. The teacher treats them to the best food. At this time Tuma went to Misaka's apartment, he found her house. However, when he rang the bell, Tuma hesitated. He still decided to dial but the person who answered the phone was Misaka's younger brother. She asked him what the hell he came to find his sister in the middle of the night. Tuma didn't give a clear reason why she was about to leave when she opened the door. Misaka is not at home right now, so she wants to say something to her room to wait for her return. Tuma got up. Kuroko was already lying on the bed, pointing Tuma over to the bed next to her. Now he wondered when his roommate called Misaka older sister. Kuroki revealed that she was younger than Misaka without hiding it. However, when her roommate moved, she asked to come here. She didn't want her roommate to harm her sister. Because with Misuke's natural talent, there are many enemies. Suddenly there were footsteps. Kuroko panicked and the manager came to check. She tried to take Tuma out with her teleportation ability, but she couldn't. So she tucked him under the bed. Here Tuma found a teddy bear in which Misuke's level up project was hidden and the places where she had to experiment. Tuma quickly followed the map and ran to find it, but it was a bit difficult. Suddenly he saw the windmill spinning, but there was no wind. Tuma realizes that it requires electricity to spin it, and Misaka is always generating electricity so she can be found by just following her. Episode 12. At the teacher's house who is currently having a big party, Index wonders about that so-called superpower. So the teacher explained it to Index in the easiest way. She took out a box of chocolates and asked Index what was in it. The box of chocolates is definitely chocolate and Index innocently replied. However, the teacher thought that there was a candy in it. Asking again, Index replied that it was a candy. Doesn't the teacher who just taught Index now know what a lie is? Next she opened the box to show them the candy and then closed the box and asked again. In the end, for all of us to understand that the people who have the ability to change the obvious in life are fake superpowers. The bored Miska stood on the bridge. She was bored with this life, since those doctors cloned her life had reached a dead end. She didn't want that anymore and wanted someone to help her. At this time Tuma arrived. He read through the things he had just found and wanted to know what Misaka would do. For Tuma to find out, he must have gone into her room and rummaged through it. Normally she would electrocute him, but she was grateful that Tuma was worried about her. The other clones were created for the purpose of training one named Axi to level 6 but they were all brutally killed. Misaka couldn't stand to watch her younger brothers die so she had to stop her. Tuma wondered about the ban on cloning and just needed Misaka to report it to the city council. Misaka found it impossible, with such a large number of clones that the council didn't detect it, it was definitely a bribe. Now Tuma understood that Misaka wanted to commit suicide to end this experiment. He wouldn't let her do that. Misaka left when Tuma stopped him. She was angry that no matter what Tuma said, She had to end herself to protect her younger siblings. Tuma shouted that no matter what she did, he wouldn't ignore it. Misaka understood that she had to fight. Last time she lost, but this time it will be different. Tuma spread his arms out, declaring that he wouldn't hit her. Misaka gave a warning to Tuma, who remained still. On the second attack, he still didn't dodge and was hit by a flying blow. Tuma struggled to get up. Misaka didn't understand why he was trying so hard for a murderer to kill his sister. Tuma corrects Misaka as not the murderer. She could completely kill him when he was defenseless, but she held back. He didn't know why he had to do this either, he just couldn't bear to let Misaka die. Misaka warned him one last time. She had to die to protect her brothers, and this was justifiable. Tuma doesn't see that. It's true that Miska will save them when they die, but they feel happy knowing this. Misaka didn't want to hear any more and attacked with full force. Tuma still tried to stand up. Misaka burst into tears, begging him not to do that again.